Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the news from Saba Satellite Channel from Marib. Let's begin with the headlines.
President Al-Alimi warns against unilateral actions, briefs consultative body and diplomats.
Yemeni government announces a new comprehensive detainee release agreement.
National regional welcome to Yemen prisoner exchange agreement.
Welcome back. In a series of high-level meetings reflecting growing political sensitivity inside Yemen, the President of the Presidential Leadership Council has moved the consolidated national consensus at home while clearly briefing Yemen's diplomatic coup on risk facing the state. The President of the Presidential Leadership Council, Rashad Mohammed Al-Alimi, held two separate meetings addressing recent national developments and their political, economic and security implications.
President Al-Alimi met with the leadership of the Consultation and Reconciliation Authority, stressing its role as a pillar of national consensus established under the Declaration of Power Transfer. He firmly rejected any unilateral actions taken outside agreed transition references, warning that attempts to impose political realities by force threaten state institutions and risk renewed internal conflict.
In a separate meeting, President Al-Alimi briefed the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and heads of Yemeni diplomatic missions in the presence of Foreign Minister Shaya Zindani on recent unilateral measures, particularly in Hadramaut and Al-Mahra. He warned that politicizing state institutions or issuing political positions outside official mandates undermines Yemen's legal standing and unity of decision.
In both meetings, the President reaffirmed that the Southern cause is a just national issue, but cautioned against using to justify unilateral steps that could weaken regional and international support. He stressed that sovereign political positions are determined solely by the Presidential Leadership Council and competent state institutions.
President Al-Alimi also warned that internal divisions ultimately benefit the Iran-backed Houthi militia, urging unity of decision, protection of state authority, and renewed focus on restoring institutions and easing Yemen's humanitarian crisis.
In a related context, several key ministries have issued coordinated statements reaffirming their support for constitutional legitimacy and rejecting any attempts to politicize state institutions. A number of Yemeni government ministries have reaffirmed their full commitment to constitutional legitimacy, stressing that state institutions must remain neutral and operate strictly within the law.
In separate statements, the Ministries of Justice, Public Health, Industry and Trade, Endowments and Guidance, and Youth and Sports rejected the use of their names or officials in political statements issued outside constitutional and legal frameworks. The ministries emphasized that Yemen's legitimate political leadership is represented by the Presidential Leadership Council, headed by Rashad Mohammed Al-Alimi, and that any statements or positions contradicting this reality do not reflect their official stance.
They warned that politicizing service institutions undermines state authority, disrupts public services, and harms economic stability, invests confidence, and humanitarian work. The ministries reaffirmed their commitment to the Declaration of Power Transfer, national consensus, and responsible political partnership, stressing that political pluralism is guaranteed but must be exercised through lawful channels, not through government institutions.
They also confirmed readiness to take legal and administrative action against any violations, while continuing to perform their duties professionally in support of state unity, stability, and efforts to end the Houthi coup and restore state institutions.
In a major humanitarian breakthrough, progress has been made in the detainees and abductees file following the latest round of United Nations surprise talks between the Yemeni government and the Houthi militia. The government's negotiated team announced a near comprehensive agreement to release 2,900 detainees and abductees from all sides following the 10th round of United Nations surprise talks.
Under the agreement, the Houthi militia is set to release 1,200 detainees, including political figure Mohammed Qahtan, 7 Saudi detainees and 20 Sudanese nationals, while the government will release 1,700 captives. The team said the deal reflects the directives from the Presidential Leadership Council calling for a full and non-selective release. The government also praised the roles of Oman, Saudi Arabia, the UN Special Envoy, and the International Committee of the Red Cross, reaffirming its commitment to securing the release of all detainees.
Following the breakthrough in the detainees file, official reactions welcomed the agreement as a long-awaited humanitarian step, raising hopes for thousands of Yemeni families. The Minister of Information, Culture and Tourism, Muammar al-Iryani, welcomed the agreement, reacted in Muscat on the exchange of detainees and prisoners, describing it as a significant humanitarian step long awaited by thousands of Yemeni families.
In a statement, Al-Iryani said the agreement reflects the directives and follow-up of the political leadership represented by the Presidential Leadership Council and the government's firm commitment to treating the detainees file as a humanitarian and moral issue, free from selectivity or exceptions. He praised the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for its pivotal and supportive role in advancing the humanitarian file, as well as Oman's efforts in hosting and facilitating the talks.
Al-Iryani also commended the rules of the United Nations Special Envoy, the International Committee of the Red Cross, and the government negotiation team, reaffirming the government's commitment to fully implementing the agreement and securing the release of all detainees and forcibly disappeared persons.
And on the regional front, broad Gulf support followed today's humanitarian breakthrough in the Yemeni detainees file. Saudi Arabia and the Gulf Cooperation Council have welcomed the prisoner exchange agreement signed today in Muscat between the Yemeni parties. In a statement, Saudi Arabia's Foreign Ministry described the deal as an important humanitarian step that helps ease suffering and supports confidence building, praising Oman for hosting and facilitating the talks.
GCC Secretary General Qasem Mohammed Al-Budaywi also welcomed the agreement, commending the roles of Saudi Arabia, Oman, the United Nations Special Envoy for Yemen, and the International Committee of the Red Cross. Both sides expressed hope that agreement will reduce humanitarian suffering, strengthen trust between the parties, and contribute to advancing comprehensive and sustainable political solution that restores security and stability in Yemen.
In the same context, the UN Special Envoy, Hans Grunberg, said the 10th round of talks in Muscat concluded with agreement on a new phase of release and a joint coordination by the UN and the International Committee of the Red Cross. Grunberg stressed that effective implementation will require continued engagement by all sides, coordinated regional support and sustained efforts to expand future releases, while praising Oman for hosting and supporting the talks.
In Yemen's ongoing engagement with regional economic initiatives, the country has taken part in a specialized Arab trade workshop aimed at modernizing customs procedures. Yemen has participated in a specialized workshop on the other side economic operates and other side exporter within the framework of the Greater Arab Free Trade Area held in Tunisia from December 2022 to 24. Yemen's delegation was headed by its ambassador to Tunisia and Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Abdul Nasser Bahabib.
The workshop aimed to support Arab officials in gaining a deeper understanding of customs modernization requirements, while showcasing Arab experiences through the exchange of expertise and best practices among customs administrations. The participation reflects Yemen's interest in enhancing trade facilitation, improving customs performance, and strengthening its integration within regional Arab economic frameworks.
For continuous updates, stay with Saba Satellite Channel. Thank you for watching and have a good time.